Hello, everybody. Double dose of Prime Sports World here today because the NFL will not stop having breaking news and not having not having major players get moved every day. It seems. I've been David Huffman right there, TJ Hopkins. Thank you very much for joining us here. If you're looking for consistent content on Facebook, YouTube, and this show is on Twitch, go ahead and check us out. We're Prime Sports World. We go live 5 days a week, bringing you the most up-to-date content. Also want to thank our friends over there, Rouge Bear, for sponsoring here at Prime Sports World. Let your presence be felt. I'll drop a link to their website, our Facebook page, and the NFL Supreme Facebook page as well. TJ, player movement right now is I don't remember an off season with this much player movement and this many notable players moved before, you know, all like during this, like before the season starts. This is unprecedented, kind of, right?
Yeah, it's almost I don't want to call it a changing of the guard because the next time it's time to negotiate for a new CBA, the owners are not gonna go for this. Like they no, this is too much player mobility for their liking. They
Like
like I
Tyreek Hill was under contract with the Kansas City Chiefs. Was like, I want to be traded, and I'm going to pick my destination. Not. Hey, we're going to trade you here, and we don't care what you have to say. Like, like that's this is like unprecedented level of player movement. Like I don't remember a time where this many notable players have moved in one offseason. We had Russell Wilson, Matt Ryan, we have Deshaun Watson, we have Devontae Adams, now we have Tyreek Hill. Like this is
like
an unprecedented era of football.
we had like this disgruntled players demand the trade. Like we've had like Jamal Adams was not happy in New York, right? Wasn't happy in New York. He did not say, "I'm not happy in New York. Trade me to Seattle." He had no
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
He had he had no say in getting sent to the Seahawks. That was the team that just did the deal. Odell Beckham was not like the leash ran super short on him in New York after what he did for them while he was healthy. He had a bit of bad luck with some injuries, and they got short with him. He got short with them. He got disgruntled, and next thing you know, he's a Cleveland Brown, and he didn't even want to go to Cleveland. Right? Devontae Adams is another one. Not the, like he didn't. It's not the fact that he wanted out of Green Bay. He just wanted his money.
Yeah, and
And Green Bay
he was basically willing to go wherever they were. So you know. So let's take a
because he
look
was
at
going to get
the
his
latest
money.
one, the one we're here to talk about today. We got Tyreek Hill going to the Miami Dolphins, Chiefs receiver return. It's 2023 first. Actually, I think that should be 2022. I'm sorry, I got to change that. So that should be this year's first, this year's second, and a fourth round pick this year, along with a fourth and a sixth round pick next year. Hill will also receive a 4-year deal worth $120 million. New deal includes $72 million in guaranteed money. Tyreek Hill is now the number one, the highest paid wide receiver in football. Sorry, Devontae Adams, you only got to wear that mantle for 1 week, 6 days. So let's talk about like what each side is getting, what we think about the deal. Let me go ahead and update that graphic because I did put those years wrong. But thoughts?
Uh, it, it was it was definitely unexpected. Was not expecting Tyreek Hill to be moved. You
I guess I probably
can
wasn't expecting the rapidness of this whole situation because like Tyreek Hill came out as being unhappy this morning, right? It's like I guess they weren't going to
yeah.
come to terms to an agreement, and then like within 2 hours he was in Miami.
What I don't like, you got folks on social media. They're like one dude I went to high school. He like Tyreek Hill is a once in a generational talent. Like no, he's not. He's just fast. Tyreek Hill turned himself into a receiver. Like when he first came to the league, he was just a returner, nothing more, nothing less. That's it.
I mean, he's
It
put in the work. I mean, the guy does. I mean, he is one of the best offensive weapons we have in the entire league. With that kind of speed and his kind of once he gets the ball in hand, I mean, there aren't that many people that are better than him.
no, but because there aren't that many receivers in the league that's as fast as him.
and can accelerate. It's not just being fast. Like his ability to accelerate is something like we've never seen. I think he might
Uh,
be a once in a generation talent. I think his ability, how fast he is, like they don't make people that are as fast as Tyreek Hill all that often.
okay, but usually, like if you're that fast, like it allows you to coast. Just because like Devin Hester was able to coast in the league for a long time because he was fast, right? Devin, am I
You
right or
say
am I right?
coast. When you say coast, I guess I'm like trying to
Devin Hester, so Devin Hester forever got an opportunity, and like he always had a like he was gonna forever have a spot in the NFL as long as he was fast.
okay, yeah, okay,
So
yeah.
so if Tyreek Hill was to if he didn't put in the work and he never turned himself into the receiver that he is now, he was always gonna have a spot on somebody's roster because of his ability to change a game with the ball in his hands.
That's true. I mean,
That's
John Ross has done literally nothing in the NFL and continues to get contracts. I mean, Tavon Austin, they literally done nothing in the NFL, but he continues to get contracts based on the fact that he's fast.
because he's fast as hell.
Yeah,
So
like those.
I
Yeah,
just
but you're not wrong in that.
I just hope Tyreek Hill understands that this is one of those situations where the grass, like he's gonna have to realize, like the grass ain't always greener, because you're going from Pat Mahomes to Tua, right? Like that's a depending on who you ask. Well, it shouldn't depend on who you ask. That's a
It's a
significant
downgrade.
drop off.
It's a
That's a
significant drop off. I
that's a
mean,
significant
Patrick
drop off.
Mahomes took that starting quarterback job and never looked back. Tua has been supplanted by multiple people. Kobe Brissett, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like he has not been what people thought he'd be when he got to the national. To say the least.
So it's like everybody can gloss over the fact that Miami now has these weapons. Like they got him, they got Jalen Waddle. They were able to keep Mike Gesicki and they tagged
Devontae
him.
Parker.
Yeah, Devontae Parker isn't going anywhere. It doesn't matter if the guy who can distribute the ball can't get if he can't get them the ball, then what's the point?
Well, I mean, they've done a really. I mean, if we're talking about a team that's won this offseason, I mean, the
It's the
argument can be made
Miami
Miami
Dolphins.
Dolphins. Miami Dolphins have won the offseason. They've improved
Like
their team more than any other team, maybe in the National Football League. Getting Tyreek Hill, improving this, getting Armstead to sign, adding Connor Williams, like increasing this offensive line. Like this has been an offseason for Miami, and like I had a conversation with somebody I work with. I actually think a lot of NFL teams are going to take the Miami Dolphins or the Los Angeles Rams mindset here. Fuck those picks. I will trade them for known commodities. I'm not worried about if a guy's going to pan out or not. I will trade those picks away for somebody I know is going to be established, know is going to be good, and there isn't that question mark. I think there are going to be a ton of teams. And when you are a franchise who is like, hey, we're not building for the future, we're building for now, where it's clearly you're trading draft picks away to improve your team now. Free agents see that and they want to come.
the fact of you said that, like you said, teams are going to follow the Rams model.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can follow that. I mean, like sports in general is a copycat league, right? We see it all the time.
True.
Like no matter what, all sports follow a pattern. If there's a team championship to be won in that sport, whichever team wins that championship, multiple teams are going to try to copy that style because hey, that one, I'm going to do that. I.e., Golden State with the NBA. Golden State shot a lot of threes and ball movement and stuff. Now everybody has to shoot the three.
I mean, you
Baseball,
can
it's
make the same argument. I mean, the Boston Celtics put together their quote unquote big three.
big
After
three.
that, every team needed to have a big three.
Every team needed to have a big three, some kind of big three. Baseball, if a team wins the World Series playing short ball, every team's gonna try to do short ball, get on base, analytics, woo, woo. Pat Mahomes changed the NFL to the point where it's like, all right, my quarterback can't sling it
Yeah.
60
Yeah.
yards on the knee, then I don't have a chance, right? So Tyreek Hill going to Miami, this tells this tells me like, hey Tua, okay, hey bruh, it's like
I
if you
mean,
can't
this is it. I mean, he's got the best weapons he's ever had. I mean, he's got the best offensive line he's ever
Like
played with by a
this
wide
ain't
margin.
he ain't had a weapon collection this good since his days in college.
It's true. I mean, Devontae Parker's still on this team as well. I mean, let's not sleep on him either. I mean, this is a wide receiver and tight end group. And not to mention they signed what's his name also as a tight end. This is a team that's full of weapons. Like this should be a team that has when you try now to be going against Miami, and not to mention they have a pretty good defense that still features two of the best corners in the National Football League.
Yeah, and well, we kind of talked about that like the whole season, like this whole past season. They got off to such a horrible start that it was talks of blowing it up. Like
Yeah.
you start off what 0-7,
1-8 at one point. They were
one and
1-8 at
eight,
one point.
and it's like you're too damn good to be, at least defensively, you're too good to be like that bad. And you turn it around to go, you finish 7 out of 8, but by that point you're not like the division's out of reach. You're not winning it.
Season
You're
was
not
over. I mean, when you have the Buffalo Bills, one of the I also feel bad for the Buffalo Bills. It went to that disaster of a playoff game where basically Tyreek Hill basically scored the game tying touchdown and took the game into overtime. And then you got to play him twice a year every year for the next 5 seasons or so. Like it's like, man, we can't escape this guy.
But again, if I'm Buffalo, my saving grace is Mahomes ain't throwing him that ball. That's Tua. Right? Like I can live with Tua throwing dimes. Why? Because he hasn't consistently shown that he can throw dimes. That's why the question marks are still being asked about Tua at this stage of his. Although it's a young career, he still like the question marks are still being asked, and you can blame Pat Mahomes for that too. Because now, if you can't throw 60-yard dimes in year 2, it's up. I don't know if we got the guy. It's a question mark. Everything's got to be.
True.
So it's just I want to know where with Tyreek Hill. I want to know where the unhappiness stems because they're not talking about that. Like I want to know what went south in Kansas City. Like everybody wants to blame Mahomes and the contract that he signed for him being traded away. I'm like, no, David, because you famously pointed this out. You point this out all the time. Teams can go over the cap to keep their own guys.
Yeah, I mean, the Kansas City absolutely had the money to match this contract. So there was, and not to mention, like this is the team that wins. It's not like we're talking about a disgruntled wide receiver not wanting to play somewhere and then to be traded away. Like this, and the Kansas City, the fact that like whatever happened must have been so severe that we couldn't even wait to the off. Like he's under a contract. Like he was gonna have to play for the Chiefs no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever this was so severe that we couldn't even wait till then. We have to trade him away. It just doesn't. I mean, this could have been a deadline move. This could have been like maybe you could sell stuff off. It's like whatever happened between the powers that be on this South Beach. Tyreek Hill needed to be traded that moment because he was under contract for next season. Like he wasn't a free agent. This is a situation where he was under a franchise tag and unhappy about being tagged. Like no, Tyreek Hill was under contract.
So I famously pointed out in that playoff game against Buffalo where he pieced out the Buffalo Bill defender. I'm not saying that is why he's gone, but I am willing to bet somebody on the coaching staff has to have pointed that out to him in like a film session. It's like, bruh, if you you're lucky because I say it all the time. He was lucky to not get flagged for that taunting penalty because the ref was right there. Ref was right there.
I mean, this Kansas City Chiefs team is really, took a real shot at him. I mean, like he's faced several off the field issues since he got in the National Football League. At one point, we thought maybe he was going to be facing a lengthy suspension. I mean, he was looking at some domestic assault charges that eventually got dropped.
Child abuse.
The child abuse that eventually became unfounded. Like the Kansas City Chiefs have stood by him through all that stuff, and like all of a sudden for him to be like, "I want out of here," like it just doesn't sit super well with me. Like and then I don't know. this is like the first time, hey, he was like, hey, trade me to Miami. I'm not going anywhere else. You're under contract. We can trade you wherever we want. Like, it doesn't make like this is like the first time I can ever remember like where Tyreek Hill was like, yeah, I'm gonna dictate where I want to go. Like, okay,
So so yeah, like the next CBA, the owners are gonna try to like they gonna try to nip that in the bud as much as possible. Because like again, like we see players get traded just in this cycle alone, right? Devontae Adams didn't say trade me to Vegas. Khalil Mack didn't say trade me to the Chargers.
Russell Wilson didn't say trade me to
Didn't
Denver
say
either.
trade me to Denver. Right,
I mean, this is
Russell
like
Wilson didn't say.
Deshaun Watson basically picked where he wanted to play, and this Tyreek Hill. I mean, he must have watched Deshaun Watson.
No,
Oh yeah, that guy picked where he wanted to
like
play.
but here's the difference. Deshaun Watson has a no trade clause.
Yeah, true.
So Deshaun, like the only that, and that's the only way a player can dictate where he's going, right? So, and how a no trade clause works for those who don't understand is it's literally what I just said. The player can dictate where he wants to go. So
I
if the
mean,
Houston
he doesn't have to waive it if somewhere he doesn't want to play.
if the Houston Texans came to Deshaun Watson like, hey, we're gonna trade you to the Eagles, he can say no. I don't want to go to Philly. All right, we're gonna trade you to Pittsburgh. No, I don't want to go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
yeah,
Like that's how that works.
A full trade clause. Let's talk about this. So we kind of touched on this on the Miami Dolphins side of this. I think this is a straight up slam dunk for Miami. On the other side of this, Kansas City. I am in another group chat. I said after this trade, this makes them the weakest team in their own division. Hot take or not? What do you think?
No, I mean like no, because some like to me it's not a hot take, but to a lot
Well,
of
a
people,
buddy of mine was all like, "No, that's crazy." I'm like, "Dude, think about it, man. The
think
Chargers
about it.
added all those defensive weapons to load up on it. The Denver added Russell Wilson, and the Raiders added Devontae Adams. I mean, you look at and they have a good defense. Like this is a team that has basically question marks at defense. They decided not to bring back their best defensive player for who knows what reason, and now you trade away your best offensive player, and you have a lot of question marks at wide receiver now. I think this makes them the weakest team in their own division, which is going to be a great division, but it's still it's
So
going to
what
be.
they yeah. So what Kansas City is looking at is you're going to be the AFC version of Green Bay, right? Like you're going to always have a chance because of your quarterback. So as long as Mahomes is suiting up and he going to the booth and he turning into Superman, you're gonna have a chance. But Kelsey, but Hill to Kelsey is gonna get repetitive very fast,
I mean, they're starting
right?
wide receivers right now. If they don't make any changes whatsoever, Juju Smith-Schuster, Miguel Hardman, Josh Gordon, that doesn't exactly fill you with the same level of fear that when Byron Pringle was here or when Tyreek Hill was here. Like they never really solved that third guy problem, anyways. And now Tyreek Hill is no longer on. That speed element that always made this team so dangerous to cover because you always had Tyreek Hill potentially going over the top. That is gone now. I mean, they
Yeah,
signed. He's not Tyreek Hill, and there's nobody in this draft that they're going to draft who's going to become Tyreek Hill overnight. Those draft picks
like
are great. You have 2 first-round picks. That's fantastic. But if those guys don't turn into Tyreek Hill, they mean they're not going to be valuable as Tyreek Hill.
their only saving grace is, well, not only, but one of the things they can look at in this first round is if they somehow if one of the early receivers somehow drops, if like Chris Olave somehow drops to them at
Well, I think their
20.
first pick would be 28.
All right, so if Chris Olave somehow drops to them at 28, Chris Olave ain't like, he's not like some receiver that's out of the Big 12 where it's just, hey, you got 2 to 3 routes max, a fly route, a slant, and maybe a quick out, a quick in and quick out, right? Chris Olave
They're
is
going to have
like, he can
29.
run.
Sorry, 29. They'll have
All right,
29 and
29.
30 this year's draft.
So if Chris Olave somehow makes it to 29, you can legit say, hey, I have a guy who can run the entire route tree. because he did it at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Like same thing with his. Well, I don't expect because Daniel Jeremiah did he did his third mock draft 3.0, and he has Garrett Wilson going like top 10 or top
He did
11,
have
something
he
like
did have
that.
an amazing pro day, but I don't.
Yeah, like barring a miracle, that's the only way I'm gonna have him in the top
I wouldn't take a wide
15.
receiver. I wouldn't take any of these wide receivers in the top 10. Not that I don't think they're talented. I just don't think. I would go. I think the wide receiver group is so talented. They're like
Hmm.
your offensive linemen are going to be way more valuable in edge rushers.
And to your point,
And corners.
the KC not having that third option step up to take that mantle, like it was a revolving door of Miko Hardman, Byron Pringle, and whoever else fill in the blank, right?
Yeah, I mean, Demarcus Robinson is no longer on this team either. I mean, they've lost a lot of weapons here on offense, and it always. I mean,
So
this is. I think, in my opinion, this trading away Tyreek Hill makes them the weakest team in their own division, and I'm not totally sold that they're going to be a playoff team next year, based on how much better everybody else in their own divisions got. And
well,
Cleveland got better. They're going to probably be a playoff team next season, depending on a suspension. But you haven't heard anything about that yet. But
well,
like,
right, exactly. So and you already know my mindset.
the
Like until
Dolphins are
it
going to be a hell
happens,
of a lot better.
so like with the whole Cleveland thing, until it happens, how they are currently built is how they are going into the season. Until I see the introductory presser with Deshaun Watson holding up the Cleveland Brown jersey, until then, it is what it is. But this is official,
Yeah,
right? This is official. Like when the Kansas City Chiefs report the training camp, number 10 not gonna be there.
I mean, he might be there, but he's wearing somebody else's name is going to be on it.
He ain't gonna be in Kansas City. That's what I'm saying.
Like, there'll be a number 10. There'll probably be a number 10 on the Kansas City Chiefs, but it won't be Tyreek Hill. It won't be Cheetah. So
And again, I'm just along the lines of what the hell happened? Like, how did it go so south
I would also
so
love
fast?
I would love to, and this is like, yeah, this has probably been one of my favorite NFL off seasons ever. Like, it's just been full of just drama, like literally every day. Like, I literally planned on just doing like the one college basketball show today, and then Tyreek Hill got traded this morning. I was like, well, fuck.
Yeah, I
Like,
go, bro. Like I come in, I come in from work. I lay down, I check my phone because I wake up. You like go to the bathroom. Like, let me check my phone. I'm like still half asleep, and all of a sudden it's the Chiefs are. At first it was what's his name? Tyreek Hill has demanded a trade. Then it was Tyreek Hill has chosen between the Jets and the Dolphins. I'm like, there is no way those are his two options.
right?
Like,
Yeah.
and if those are his two options, there is one clear cut option, right?
Well, how did
I
he even
am.
come to that decision? Like, he's like, oh, these are the two options. Like, I would love to know, like, what was the decision process there? Where he was like,
Well,
Miami, the Jets.
if all right, so my only bet could be my only thought process was Miami has to be like the football option because I think they could have gave him the most money. If
Yeah,
I'm New York, like him choosing the Jets and like you choose the Jets over the Giants, that just tells you where the Giants are.
yeah.
Like that literally that tells you where the Giants are. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But it's still New York, right? So my only thing of him adding New York to that is that's the number one media market. They would plaster his face everywhere. So
Yeah.
while they probably couldn't pay him the amount of money that he got in Miami, he would well and more make up for it with endorsements and money making of that sort, right? But if I'm Tyreek Hill, I really don't. I see a lot of football players that like they don't get a lot of like unless you're Odell, right? Like Odell has a signature shoe. How many football and Cam Newton? How many? Those are like two football players with signature things,
Pretty rare.
right?
Pretty rare.
It's rare, right? So if I'm him, I go to Miami. Miami's another media. It's a big media. right? South
Yep.
Beach.
Yep.
It don't get cold.
Don't get cold
Tax
and
free tax
tax
free
free, so
state.
your money's worth even more there. But yeah, I guess we'll see how this ends up playing out. I mean, bring on more player movement, bring on more chaos. Whatever. We'll keep covering every time there's a breaking news story. We're gonna cover here at Prime Sports World.
What's the
Tyreek
next
Hill is the
one?
Miami Dolphins. So if you didn't know, now you know. I've been David Huffman right there. It's been T.J. Hopkins,
What?
and
Hey,
thank you very.
watch Michael Thomas be the next one. Watch
Yeah,
Michael Thomas be the next.
we'll see. But yeah, I've been David Huffman right there. It's Mr. T.J. Hopkins. Thank you very much for joining us. And TJ, what we do here at the Prime, my friend?
We bring the heat, and it's kind of chilly.
Yeah, we're gonna hopefully bring the heat, and we're bringing the heat not only to Facebook, YouTube, also Twitch. So continue checking us out on all of our platforms, including Twitter, because I have one now. PSW
he
underscore
said,
David.
he
Continue
said,
checking that stuff
cool,
out. I've been
and I
David
have
Huffman,
one now.
TJ Hopkins. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're gonna be bringing you some more NFL content. I don't know what tomorrow, but let's see. Well, we'll leave it open. We'll find out. I'll see you later, man.
Okay, like a lot of folks have released like 3 or 4 mock drafts by now. I am 100% willing to break down at least the top 15 of a new mock draft.
All right, sure. All right. That sounds. I will see if we get Christian in there too. We'll
All
figure it
right,
out. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
all right, see you.